I've known this guy for a very long time. You know, I got to meet him when NFL Network started. He is one of 39 active or former NFL players and coaches playing in the American Century Celebrity Championship in Edgewood at Edgewood Tahoe in South Lake Tahoe, Nevada. We had Jay Billis in studio. He's playing in it.
Yep.
We had Tom Glavine. He's playing in it.
Yeah.
Why aren't we playing in it?
Great question, Rich.
We'll ask that of our next guest here, Super Bowl champion, none other than Joe Theismann. How are you doing, Joe? How you been?
I'm great, Rich. Thank you. And you posed an interesting question. I will raise that to the committee.
Will you do that?
Behalf.
Will you?
Sure.
Do you appear in front of the committee, Joe? Is that where?
I would do well. Not really, but maybe I could find somebody I could talk to about it.
I should have just said thank you. I shouldn't have pressed you any on that. The actual details of it.
Now you need a description of the entire committee and who I'm going to go to and all that stuff.
Exactly.
No, it's a great event. I mean, and Annika's going to play this year. Sorenstam, she's such a great competitor.
Oh, great.
Catherine Tappan's going to be there. Of course, Marty Fish won it last year. Marty, John Smoltz, Mark Mulder, Tony Romo. Those are probably the top 4 guys that'll be competing. And to have the chance to play, this is the 32nd year of the tournament. I've played in 30 of them. And just watch the way this thing grew. A couple years ago, we didn't have fans last year, and it was a very limited field. But 2 years ago, they showed video of what it was like in the first times. And, our 17th hole at Edgewood, at Lake Tahoe, is a lot like you see in Phoenix on that par 3.
Sure.
I really almost think it's, we started it. And because you have the lake, you have all the boats lined up and everything else, and they're going to be allowing fans this year. So it's a wonderful experience, and it's fun. Of course, Charles will be there.
Yes. And a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken, Sean Payton gave new meaning to hitting it off the deck in golf.
Literally.
I remember that a couple of years ago. We
did that. We've had guys out in the boat, out in the. You never know where somebody's going to wind up in this tournament, to be honest with you, whether it's in the evening or during the day, during the tournament. It's an awful lot of fun.
All right, Joe, we looked it up. Go ahead, Chris. What is Joe Theismann?
I know. You don't have to say it. It's a lot. Okay?
Joe?
Are you a 2, Joe?
It says you're a 2 handicap.
They have me as a 2. I'm probably closer to 3.5 now.
Oh.
But it's been going up. I'm
so sorry.
I feel terrible right now.
So sorry.
I apologize.
Oh my gosh! I shoot 3.5, and off the tee on a par 5. And I've got 3 more to go, Joe. That's my game. Maybe that's why I'm not invited. Maybe that's me. I'm not even competitive.
No, not at all. You're a huge personality.
Richard Dender slouch.
I was listening just to the interview a little bit. I think was that a recorded interview from a couple years ago? Or was that?
Yeah, Jane Lynch. Yeah, this recorded a couple
years
ago.
I mean, the thing is you are truly, a man of vast knowledge. It doesn't make you geekish. What it does is it makes you very well rounded.
Thank you,
and
Joe.
a Renaissance man.
Thank you.
Now that's the way I would describe it.
Renaissance Rich.
I greatly appreciate that, Joe Theismann here.
No, I mean it.
I know you do, and I appreciate that. So, story of the NFL. It's been a little quiet though for the last couple of weeks, and the next pressure point won't be till training camp. But what do you think is going on with Aaron Rodgers? Joe Theismann.
I think Aaron has dug himself in. At first, when this thing happened, of course, this goes back 2 years with the drafting of Jordan Love, and that's a guy you have to feel bad for because Jordan's caught in the middle of this thing. He's the person that the Green Bay Packers moved up to get a couple of years ago when Aaron felt like they needed other positions, specifically wide receiver, and so he goes out and has an MVP year. And basically, I think what he's saying in a nonverbal way is, look. You thought so much about the kids, you went and moved up to go get them. You didn't give us what I thought we needed. So if you wanted them, you got them. Let me go on and do something else. Except the price to get Aaron, and it's double-edged. The price that you pay for a guy of his age, although I think he's got 3 or 4 years, great years left. But what do you give up in a window? I mean, if you're close and you think you're close to having a shot at the championship, you'd consider it. But if you're looking at a team that's young and trying to move forward, I don't think you do it because it's going to cost at least 2 number ones. Probably 2 number ones, 2 number twos. This is going to look like Kevin Costner in Draft Day, okay, where he trades the 3 number ones and then he tries to get. Well, you're not going to get them back. But that's sort of what's going to wind up happening. I would be surprised if he's a Green Bay Packer. He's going to be in the tournament too, by the way.
Oh, he is he? Okay.
Yeah, Patrick is there. Patrick Mahomes, Aaron's there. Justin Timberlake, just to mention a few more.
Sure.
So there's too much has been said.
Right.
I think. And I just couldn't understand the organization a couple of months ago, the Packers coming out and saying, Aaron Rodgers is our quarterback for the foreseeable future.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? If anything else, I mean, immediately what I would have done with Aaron is I don't believe the last 2 years of his contract are guaranteed. I'd have guaranteed his contract, and I'd have given him a raise because I think he is undervalued, not as valued as I believe he would be. I mean, if you look at the numbers that some of the guys are getting that haven't done near as much as he is, I think he deserves more.
No, I know that.
More than what he's getting.
The issue is, Joe Theismann here on the Rich Eisen Show, as you know, as you pointed out to start this, is that it was the drafting of Jordan Love that started a clock in this day and age, unlike, when you were drafted, or as, our friend Terry Bradshaw mentioned, well, when they drafted Mark Malone, I just didn't pay that any mind. Well, that's because, Mark Malone's drafting in the first round wasn't mandated contractually and collective bargaining contract to put the kid out on the field right away to see if you have to pick up a second-year option. That's the way things go now. So the drafting of Love,
sure,
how they drafted him and where they drafted him started a clock, and Rodgers knows that. So my question,
and why they moved up to get him. They drafted in 1982 or 83. They drafted Tom Flick in the second round behind me out of Washington. So, I think it's really. Well, hey, can I mention something about American Century here, though?
Go for it. Sure.
Because people don't understand what American Century Investments do. I mean, they're the country's leading money manager for ETFs, mutual funds, and retirement solutions, and they help clients achieve investment goals. That's who they are. But here's the thing that is so wonderful about them, too, is 40% of American Century's investment profits go to the Stowers Institute of Medical Research that does research dedicated to defeating life-threatening diseases. They have paid dividends of $1.7 billion to the research to fight it. Think of a company that gives away 40% of its profits for charity. And we've raised about $5.5 million up there in Tahoe in that area, too.
Well, that's pretty cool, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, plus there's going to be an opportunity to be a part of fantasy golf. Started a couple days ago. I mean, you can participate in the American Century Golf Fantasy Contest, pick 5 celebrities.
Uh-huh.
The best aggregate performance wins all expense-paid trip to the 2022 tournament and a $10,000 donation to the winner's charity of choice. And all you need to do is log on to www, which I don't need to say anymore, accfantasygolf.com. And that's what makes this tournament so special. Rich, we're all competition junkies.
Mm-hmm.
Those of us that have left the. I mean, I watch you during the draft. I watch you run for charity.
Yes.
I mean, you're a lot more explosive than people I think give you credit
that, Joe.
for.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That is an adjective that's not usually attached to me, and I greatly appreciate you saying that, Joe.
Well, it's not fast. I mean, explosive.
That's true. That's another
nice
way.
word you can play with.
Understood. Yes. No, I hear you. I read my scouting reports, Joe. I definitely read them.
You study them?
I do. So you're going to head up there soon, I assume. And do you know who you're paired with? Do you know who you're paired with yet, Joe?
No, we won't know. We won't get our pairing sheets until I think Wednesday or Thursday night. Then we'll figure out who we play. I mean, 2-3 years ago, I played with Alex Smith and, oddly enough, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who both were Washington. One is a Washington quarterback.
Yes.
Of course, Alex was one, and I was there. And there's a chance Alex is there again, Fitz is there again, and I'll be there again. So there's a chance we might play together.
That's got to be it, Joe. We got to have that. That's the way it's got to be.
College guys together. So, I mean, the pairings are fun. And it really is. I'll tell you, for a guy that loves to compete, it's wonderful to challenge yourself.
Right.
Anybody that plays the game of golf knows how frustrating it can be. Now, put yourself in front of about 4,000 or 5,000 people.
Oh, forget it.
And take the club back, and let's see what you do.
Exactly. So when you say it's college pairing, so it's you, Montana, and Rudy. Is that who it is?
Well, it could be if they were there.
Notre Dame greats. You, Montana, and Rudy, and only 2 of you were on sides. That's the sort of thing. Joe?
Could be. You never know.
I love
what
that,
a
man.
season it's going to be, though, man.
I agree.
What a season it's going to be.
I agree.
I think that this year has a chance. Even more than I'll make this prediction.
Okay,
I'll be
Joe.
bold. I'll be like Terry.
There you go.
This particular season will be the best season in professional football that we've seen in recent history because of the young players. Guy like Joe Burrow coming back. Of course,
Yeah.
You don't know what Zach Wilson's going to do or Trevor Lawrence, and then of course, Tom continues to move on. Aaron, I think, will be somewhere. I just can't see him sitting out of football.
Right.
I think Russell Wilson, has sort of settled everything down out in Seattle, and you've got so many storylines. Patrick is coming back. They've got new guys at the tackle positions, and so many different young, blossoming stars. Dak coming back off the leg, broken leg. Where will he be in the mix with the Cowboys?
I agree with you. And
it's
Joe,
like
and
storyline after storyline.
And then there's you mentioned one, and then and then I'll let you go here. I think the team to beat in the NFC East is the Washington football team, and I'm not just saying that because you're here. I love their defense. They have a Defensive Player of the Year candidate already. I love how their defense last year. If they got their hands on you, they put you on the turf. There were really no yak yards against that defense, and
right.
I don't know. You see so many longtime veterans get a shot and I know that Ryan Fitzpatrick frequently doesn't get all 16 games in when he's been named a starter frequently, but I kind of like the mix here. I think they've got a shot.
I think he would have gotten 16 in last year had Miami not made a choice to go with Tua.
Right.
I mean, that wasn't because Fitz wasn't playing well.
Correct.
That was because they just wanted to make a change. I don't disagree with you. I think this football team can be special. They added speed to the wide receiver position. They added depth to the tight end position. William Jackson coming in at the corner position helps out tremendously. Kendall Fuller is back, being able, coming from Kansas City. And the thing is the one thing that jumped out at me, though, too, in this offseason, and this day and age of money grab, it really caught my eye, is very seldom do you see a championship team come back intact. But yet the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I believe, are returning all 22 from last year.
Facts.
And that was a great defense last year. And they only really started to play to their potential after the bye last year. And, of course, Tom is going to be Tom. I mean, the thing that he's been able to do, people wonder, what's he able to do? Obviously takes care of himself and all that stuff. But his arm is good. As long as you have the ability to throw the football, you can play this game a long time. When the arm goes, that's the end of the business for you. But I think Tampa is another team that you really, really have to look at and say, wow, none of these guys left. I think everybody wanted to be there for one more shot, at least one. Well, Tom, maybe two. You never know.
Right.
But I agree with you on Washington. Now, if I say it, people go, "Oh, you're just a homer."
Right.
No, all you need to do is step back and take a look at this. This will be a top 3 defense for sure.
I think you're right.
I think so going forward, and defense wins championships.
No doubt. Thanks for the call, Joe. Hit him straight in a couple weeks. And again, the American Century Celebrity Golf Championship in Tahoe on July 7th through 11th. And your new book, How to Be a Champion Every Day, filled with all those stories from your career, available now wherever you can get your books. So thanks for the call, Joe.
Rich, thank you. I'll put a word in for you, too.
I appreciate that, Joe. Thank you.
You got that.
We got a word being put in, guys. Joe Theismann putting in the word. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.